Hey,
What?
welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates. Then make sure you check out, make sure I do it the right way, Matt and Master Beer Reviews. Unless you're watching it on his channel, then come to my channel.
That would be Ryan at All Hype Beer Reviews. It's pretty easy. Just type in All Hype Beer Reviews Ryan, and it'll pop up. Put it in Ask Jeeves, and you'll find it
Comes right
quicker.
up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been a big fan of Bing lately. Real good search engine. Yeah, Bing.
Yeah, don't say that kind of stuff. We can joke about stuff, but not anybody. Listen, I mean, Kyle can speak for himself, but I don't care if I lose subs. If you use Bing, just unsubscribe to me right now.
I
Like,
don't want you around. I still use Yahoo, so there you go. That's who I am at this point.
I use Yahoo for news. I like going to Yahoo, like
Yeah,
that news page. But
yeah,
I'm a Google. I'm a Google.
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, that is why I like Yahoo actually, is because it just just here's a bunch of news and yeah, it's a
Yeah.
variety, and I do like that. Yeah, but I know people tuned in to know where we get our news from. But besides that, we also have a beer we're gonna be reviewing today. We both got sent the same few beers and a couple different ones. We decided to pick one that is the same, and this is from Woodland Farm Brewery. It's their Pinot Grigio Heartbeat, which is a barrel-aged farmhouse ale, a mixed fermentation, dry farmhouse ale with earthy, spicy, and barnyard notes, brewed especially for Carl, who is the son of the head brewer, Keith.
Okay, I was gonna ask if you knew that. There you go.
Yeah, and then aged in Pinot Grigio barrels, batch from 2021. It is currently 2022. And I noticed this as well, Matt. You mentioned it in your unboxing. No ABV, so we don't know what we're going into here.
Yeah, we could play that game while we're doing it, and we can guess on it. I mean, you're talking about the Pinot Grigio barrel aged farmhouse ale. I'm guessing it's probably flirting around 7%. That's my guess.
My guess
But
was 7 to 8, and then depending on how wet the barrels are and all that kind of stuff.
yeah. Now about this brewery, have you had anything or heard of this brewery before they sent you anything? Because they're
No, and they're
how
not that
far are
far
they
from
from
me.
you? That's what I was about to say. They're not
Yeah.
super far from you, right?
No, so yeah, we've been talking a little bit on Instagram, and I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to come out, and he's like, yeah, give me a heads up, so I know you're coming, and then show you around, kind of a thing, and yeah, maybe I forget, I looked it up because I actually lived there a little bit when I was a little kid, and went to the my first uh, brewery tour was when I was either still in my mom or barely out, but at what was it,
Matt FX, yeah,
Matt
Ithaca,
FX,
basically.
yeah, yeah, way back in the day, Utica Club
You
days, yeah,
okay? Is Matt FX? Is that who
Saranac.
is that? Saranac. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, so yeah, not far from where I'm living now, the capital region in New York, and yeah, definitely gonna head out there, and yeah, pumped. How about you? Had you heard of them or?
No clue, man. Like, yeah, they wrote me. I would assume probably a week after you, because I think you got a beer mail about a week before me.
Okay.
And they're probably just looking around, being like, "Hey, whatever." Or they just found themselves on YouTube and decided to reach out to these two guys. Big mistake, but
Yeah,
no, it was kind of cool because
yeah,
like it looks like they're kind of like they do a lot of barrel aged stuff. They do a lot of traditional beers. They do a lot of different stuff. But it's also, from what I've gleaned from their website and stuff, they're very much kind of like old school brewery. They have food. They have beer. You know what I mean? Like very. I don't want to call them a brew pub, but very much that DNA exists in what they do. Kind of.
it does feel that way. They're posting like who's what band or they got to come and play, and then they have what seems like a bigger barrel aging program than what I would associate with everything else you just said. Like it does seem
Yeah.
larger than yeah. So yeah, no.
Yeah, they're like a real like farm brewery that does a bunch of barley wine and has food and bands. I mean, who that place sucks, obviously.
Yeah. Who'd want to go there? Yeah,
Uh,
it's up my alley for sure.
Anything else about this before we open it?
Just I'm really excited to open it and try it. Yeah,
Let's
it
do it.
was a nice
Mine.
variety. You hear barrel aged beers and like you said, barley wine, stouts, wheat heavies, farmhouse ales. Oh, yeah, I got to remember my new setup. I got a new. I know you know this already. I got a new computer, and I'm used to my camera being down here, so I got to get used to. Oh, I moved it up there now.
Your camera looks way better than it usually does. I'll tell you this much.
It's a computer. It's the same exact camera.
Well, but and that's the thing. What do you use? What kind of camera do you use? Is it your phone or?
It's Logitech. 1080 something, you know. So.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. A lot of times the computer, your CPU does a lot of the heavy lifting and
Yeah.
processing of the image, so it's probably
Yeah.
probably that. There you go. Tech hour, tech corner on the you know.
Where we get our news from, technology, everything except beer talk. It's funny.
That looks like ginger ale.
That very much, yes. Okay, and it almost like has the carbonation of a soda
That's what I'm
too. Like,
saying. Like it has the carbonation, the
yeah,
head, everything about it looks like getting some Schweppes up in this piece.
yeah. That'd be a good April Fool's joke. It's actually just ginger ale.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean,
All this thing about his son and he aged in Grigio barrels and it's just ginger ale.
yeah. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You know, farmhouse ale. You're expecting something with a little bit of lively carbonation. You know, Pinot Grigio barrel stuff. You're expecting it to lean into clear yellow with a tint of, you know, berry light reddish color, maybe pinkish kind of hues. So it kind of looks the part. You
Yeah.
know.
No, it does. It definitely does. A nice little, white head on it and everything. Yeah, it definitely looks the part.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can see that carbonation, I mean,
Yeah.
it's died off just a hair, but I mean, Kyle's is still going super strong. Do you have an
Yeah.
agitator in the bottom of that one? I think
The
Goma Gang puts some.
Oma Game glass, and I can't tell if it does or doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. The nose
Oma.
knows. Yeah.
Besides looking the part, it smells the part.
I think that smells awesome. It's like it's actually kind of like. I mean, like not to be too on the nose, but it smells like a Pinot Grigio barreled farmhouse ale. But
Yeah.
there's something extra to it, like and it's like a sweetness, but it's not like a candied sweetness. It's almost like I don't know, like it's like there's this cool sweetness about it that reminds me of something I can't put my finger on.
I mean, that's the first thing I saw when I smelled it. It smells the part, it looks the part, and smells the part. I get like honey maybe is a sweetness, honeysuckle.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Like I am admittedly not a wine person. I can't really do wine. There's something about the tannic dryness of a lot of wines that really just don't do it for me. And the only time I really get down with wine is when it's sweeter. So like either like an Asian plum wine, even like sometimes like some like Jewish wines, or like something like wine barrel aged like this where it carries this sweetness to it that adds kind of cuts through that kind of dryness for me. So on a nose, I mean, it smells really, really, really good.
Yeah, yeah, because you're getting that extra sweetness, but it does have all those barnyard. I mean, same thing they said on their label. I mean, it has what you think this should smell like.
I mean, to go back to that, like you said, honeysuckle is very much like a floral sweetness, almost like you made like like my wife. A lot of times she'll take like some of the herbs and flowers in her house, and she'll make like a syrup out of them,
Yeah,
like an elderberry syrup or whatever. This is almost like you took a bunch of flowers and made like a syrup, and then you added it like kind of like a Berliner Weiss, like you added like a little bit of like a simple syrup
yeah,
to the beer, not a
mm,
lot to the point where it's like I mean,
yeah,
again, it's a nose, you can't smell sweetness, but the perception of sweetness is cool. But like you said, I kind of feel bad I'm bulldozing over the fact that it smells like a farmhouse ale and it
mhm,
smells like a Pinot barrel beer. That is definitely there too.
yeah. Should we get into the taste?
Cheers, homie.
Here's my friend.
So full disclosure, I forgot to put mine in the fridge.
Okay.
So I put mine in about half an hour before we went on the air. But I put it in my regular fridge, so that way it kind of chilled a little bit. So it's probably closer to like mid 50s than probably high 40s, which is usually where I start these kind of things off. I think that's a good happy little mistake. It's like the Bob Ross of beer reviews. Happy little mistake. This is so it's flavorful. The wine barrel, the Pinot Grigio barrel for me is probably the most prominent part of this, both from an oak tannin dryness kind of thing, a vanilla kind of thing, and then actually the spirit, or not spirit, wine kind of things. But it's not overpowering.
Yeah.
The farmhouse ale portion of the show I think that's where you're obviously deriving a lot of the sweetness. So that's bringing that to the table, but it lacks a little bit of character to me, for me,
Okay.
outside of a little bit of bitterness. Um, but I will tell you this: this is like super neutral, like to the point where I can probably drink this whole bottle, even with it being a little bit warm, in like minutes. Like it's
It's
so easy to drink.
it's very drinkable. I do get a decent amount of like everything you said, and then orchard fruit, like
Yeah.
apple, a little bit of pear, like as well. Um, this would be. I don't usually think of beer, especially doing the reviews, in terms of pairing with food or whatever. But this would be like a really nice beer to have with a meal because it has its own flavors, but it's not going to dominate, what you're eating. So I think that's a good.
Another full disclosure, because we'll do so many of those today. When I asked you when you want to do it, pre or post dinner, I was like, he's going to ask to do this pre dinner. I know he's going to want to do it like 5 o'clock, so that way he can open this up and then have it for dinner. What do you do? What are you doing after this, Kyle?
I'm going to eat dinner after this. Yes, yep, yep. It's so true. Yeah. No, it's good. It's refreshing. And yeah, it does have a little bit. We kept talking about the sweetness, but there's that drying element. I think some of that's the beer itself, some of that's the, barrel aging. But yeah, it just that when it does dry out a little bit, it's real pleasant. Not really done on the vanilla or like even almost like not buttery notes, but like more like the vanillin of the barrel. Yeah, well, and the oak specifically.
Yeah, I mean it's actually aggressively, I would say aggressively dry. Not so much so that it dominates the beer, but well, that sweetness, that perceptual sweetness on the nose, well, it's sweeter. It's sweet in the taste. It's not nearly as sweet as I thought it was going to be based off of the nose.
Yeah.
I think that's part of that is the actual like oak, that big, huge, like comes off as like fresh French vanilla oak, kind
Hmm.
of just drying everything out. There's a bittering here that I think is somewhere outside of like outside, like when I associate dryness, a lot of times it's kind of amplifies bittering, but I think there's a bittering here. It's a little bit bigger than I thought it would be. It's almost like a botanical kind of ginny kind of bittering. That's what I get from this, is more of like a botanical kind of thing, as opposed to a hoppy kind of thing. Like instead of hops, they use like flowers or some kind of like thing in place of hops. That's kind of the way it kind of comes off for me. But that skinny kind of orchardy thing that you talked about earlier is very much kind of part of kind of brings it all together, I guess you would say,
Yeah.
because it is big and vinous, it is big winey, but you're drinking a barrel aged beer. You also know you're drinking a farmhouse ale. All those components are individual, but they're pretty well melded, so it's not like it's like one note all over the place. It's very cohesive, and I have to go back and say this. I'm drinking this relatively warm. Like
Yeah.
if this is a little bit colder, I could see it being super crazy drinkable. But I think the opposite, that this being as warm as it is, it's a testament to how well it's made, because that's when those little niggles of like a negativity, whether it be sulfur blow off or some kind of out of tune kind of part of the beer, kind of is going to show itself. It's not really doing that, and that's my probably the most impressive part for me.
I like the botanical simple syrup discussion earlier. Like it very much does have that botanical dandelion wine.
Hmm.
Take whatever you want, but yeah, kind of a note for sure. Yeah, it is. It's. I don't know. 'Cause I know when I did I don't know how to pronounce it, the Bergian, the blonde barley wine. He was telling me that he likes to sit on them before they go out to the public. Um, and like you were saying, how the flavors are melding. I mean, I don't know when in 2021 this was put into the bottle, but like it definitely drinks like all these different flavors have had time to, yeah, like you said, melt together, and they do work very well together.
Yeah, let's before we forget, let's play the ABV game.
Oh, hmm. Well, so I was thinking 7 to 8% before we opened. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to drop it a whole percent. I'm going to say it's somewhere between 6 and 7. That's right.
I want a hard, fast number, Kyle. I don't want ballparks.
All right, so I will say 6.45.
Okay. So on the initial taste, I actually wanted to go mad low. like
Okay.
really low. Like I wanted to eke towards like 5.
Okay.
Just because I was like, yeah, this is not a big beer. But the more I drink it, there's something to it. So, what did you say? 6.45. I'm gonna go 6.46. I'm gonna no. Actually, I said I had this in my brain before you said anything. I wanted to go 6.7.
Okay.
That was my thing. So I will. Let's look this up and see. Should we do this live on the air? No.
We can find it. Yeah. Yeah. And
Let's.
then as it warms, the more I drink, I get more and more of that wine, which again is making me think, it's got more than 5% ABV to it, but not as much as I was initially thinking. Like, because you don't get too much alcohol itself taste. You get some like the fermentation. I'm just trying
Yeah.
to find it.
There's no kind of boozy
Yeah. But then
thing
you're
to it.
tasting like barrel, you're tasting wine, things I associate with higher alcohol contents, but you're not getting the alcohol taste of it all. Yeah, no, for sure. Um, that's looks pretty on the glass. You still got like lacing and stuff. No
Okay.
legs, really. So again, like probably a lower, maybe even lower than I'm still thinking it is. I don't know.
Okay. Well, Untapped has it at 6.2%.
Okay.
Let's see if they actually have it on their website. I doubt it because this is probably stashy stuff, I'm assuming. You know what I mean? Like stuff that they had. Like I doubt they have 2021 bottles floating around, but who knows?
Yeah. But even it is at 6.2. I mean,
No,
we're in
that
that
makes
ballpark.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Bottles. Heartbeat. Oh, they don't actually list it on the website of the ABV, so we're gonna have to go off Untapped.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in Untapped. I'm gonna change it to 6.7 just so I'm right.
But even, yeah, I mean, even okay. So the 6 points. I mean, we're definitely in the ballpark, and I think if this was a mystery beer, people would be like, "Hey, yeah, you're pretty close on the ABV." And yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, like you saying, like, what was it? Where are these guys? They're Utica,
yeah, it's the
but
Utica area.
how far, how far are they from you?
I'll just look up on my phone quick because I did look it up. Like it would be, having the electric car. I'm always thinking like charges and stuff, and it was something I could do round trip.
Oh, hour and a
Easily.
half. Yeah, hour and a
So
half.
yeah, it'd be an hour and 24 minutes according to my um, car, my phone.
No, because I was like, oh, maybe we stop by when we come up for Beer Tuba Palooza, but I was like, yeah, that's too far.
And it's a little bit opposite direction where you're coming from too. I mean, not that it matters, but
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was pleasantly surprised, especially since they sent off the stuff that they sent, stouts and barley wines and a lot of big beers, and then have this rando farmhouse sale. I was like, okay,
yeah,
I can kind of dig on that, and
yeah,
I was curious to see where it was gonna lie, specifically because, after having the golden barley wine, the two of those already, I haven't posted a review yet on those. It'll probably come after this, but, and just it's cool to see breweries not just doing the stuff that they do, there's so many we were joking about it in the private chat about, it's pretty much just like hazies and stouts, and it's pretty much like 80% of the breweries, and to have a brewery that's kind of a farm brewery doing kind of farmy things, and then having such a wide portfolio, it's very cool.
it's cool. Good on them. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, this is awesome, man. For different reasons, my computer and everything. It's been a bit since I've been able to do a live stream, or I know this isn't live stream, but anyway, to do reviews with people and stuff. So it was really nice to be able to do that again. Anything else before I sign out?
No. I mean, just go check these out. Woodland Farm out. They like I said, they're up there and kind of, I guess you would say in the best kind of geographical way for people. They're basically almost dead center between Albany,
Albany.
and Syracuse, basically,
Yeah, and
kind
I
of like
think they
sandwiched in
have
between.
Syracuse footprint. I think if I remember correctly. But yeah, all right. Well, make sure you check out Matt at Massive Beer Reviews. Then once you're done doing that, make sure you check me out and No Hype Beer Reviews on Instagram and on Tap. And I think I said this out of order. So as always, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe.
Imbibe.
Either one.
You gotta say that with like a crazy metal voice.
Imbibe. Mother killer. Ridiculous.